Thanks. Most of the people in the room that knows me knows that I like data and that I work with a lot of colleagues in the analytics engineering cell, but maybe not too much people in the room knew that I studied medicine 2 years before going to different place. But before starting with the slides, I would like to ask the audience have you ever had difficulties trying to explain to your families and friends what you do for a living? Yes. Here at Xebia, I think is one thing that we have to feel at least once when you hear about these amazing projects or check these amazing presentations and you feel, I'm light years away from these people, what I'm doing here, and the imposter syndrome kicks in. So let me try to connect the dots between how I started in the med school in Mexico City, in one of the most prestigious universities in Mexico. And now I am doing analytics in the Netherlands for some reason. So everything starts in the beginning, of course, but I don't know if you have children or if you have access to children programs, television programs. Most of these days, the TV shows like Paw Patrol or other type of heroes that the children see always say like, you need to be a firefighter or a policeman or an astronaut. And there is always like this, you need to become something. I'm putting a label on you. And society, by the age of 16, 17, or 18, expect you to have your life figured out. You need to know what you're going to do for the rest of your life. You need to know what you want to study, what you want to work on. And I remember that the first day at the school, at the university, was like, where do you see yourself in 10 years from now? So that's a lot of pressure. I didn't know what I wanted for breakfast. Let alone decide my life, right? But well, after studying high school, I get to know some very important people in my life. The first mentors of this talk that were doctors. They were working selflessly, and they had to be 24/7 on call. And I thought, like, I want to do that. I want to be solving problems, helping people, having impact. So I enrolled. I had this marvelous plan because it was a little bit away from me. My family was not wealthy enough to pay for this university, so I had to do something. And my idea, I started in high school. I knew that this university had a high school, and if you did well there, you can get a scholarship, and that's what I did. I get 50% off of everything for monthly payments on the med school. I was doing great for the first 2 years, but then you start needing books, you start needing material, and then you need to enroll in the hospital system and so on, and everything is money, 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 money. And my family didn't have that, so I decided to quit. And to be really honest, I felt like a failure in that moment, because all this plan, all this image in my head of what I was going to be when 10 years fell in front of my eyes. I had to leave behind my friends, and if you know anyone that is studying medicine, you know that the social circle gets very small, and then after leaving the school, it got smaller. So I really fell into depression. I didn't know what to do with my life. It was very difficult for me to wake up every day just because I had to wake up. And then after a couple of months, I decided, like, okay, if I'm not going to be a doctor, what I'm going to be? What I'm good for? Who am I? What I like to do? So I started trying a lot of different things. From martial arts to music, I got into the church. I got in a mission with the church and the university as well. teaching children. I had a boy band with my, my friends at the high school. I liked photography. I even helped one of my friends cleaning fish tanks. So I was exploring a lot of things. I even studied Japanese, and one of these days we had a tall cafe at Hilversum, and I was paired with Philip here at the first row to teach him Japanese, but it turns out that he knows more than I, so. But I didn't know exactly where all of these things were going to take me. And I want to talk about a little bit of two mentors that I got to know. So the first one, it was my director in the school where I learned to play guitar and the piano. And one of the things that he told me is that the most important thing about a musician when you are in an ensemble is two things. First is the show must go on. It doesn't matter if you mess up, if you don't hit the note, if something unplugs, if the drummer drops the stick and hit you in the eye, doesn't matter. You need to keep playing. Show must go on. And that was the first one. And the second one is that the best quality of a musician is being dependable. You are there performing a service for everyone else. You need to keep the time so the singer knows where to enter, and so on. So I learned how to be dependable. The second mentor I want to mention is my karate instructor. He showed me and he told me that perseverance and discipline can be more effective than talent. So as you can see, I am very athletic and fit. And even though my physique, I managed to graduate as a black belt and to represent my country in Venezuela in 2010. So perseverance and discipline can get you far, far away. And then I decided to study another career. So I studied medicine, and I said, let's start with industrial engineering. Why not? Why not? And at the end of industrial engineering, I got to do my social service. In Mexico, social service is free work for 6 months. I got to do my social service in Pemex, the national oil company. And my first achievement in the corporate world was recycling paper for the photocopy machine. Yes, I was into sustainability before it was cool. But then the assistant of my boss got sick, and it turned out that he needed to do something in Microsoft Excel. I was certified in Microsoft Excel, so I helped him once, and then I was the one managing the databases between the bank and the national oil company because everything moved in Excel, of course. So after 2 years of doing that without pay, they decided, okay, you are a very good element of the team. It would be great if we can hire you, but it's election year. We cannot afford to get anyone in the team, except that one of the board members that is in the 14th floor of that tower need a new driver, need a new chauffeur. If you want, we can hire you as a driver, and then after a couple of years, we can pull you back in. So my first job was a driver, and I was studying with my laptop, and there I met another mentor, Hector Moreira, which passed away last year. He taught me that first, treat on equal foot everyone, because he gave me a lot of opportunities to show my true potential, even though I was just a driver. Everyone else looked at me as just a driver. But for him, he saw that I had something else to offer. When I told him the university I graduated from, Universidad Victoria or University Victoria, no one has heard about it, he, after 1 month, said, guess what? I got you on a scholarship from one of the best universities in Mexico. So yeah, low-key, he was a little bit ashamed that one of his consultants was not from a good university, so he got me a scholarship. And yeah, basically I get to do a master's. In the graduation of my master's degree, I helped build a decision theater in collaboration with ASU and Arizona State University. That got me into building models of the energy sector in Excel. And it finally got me into an electricity supplier, energy supplier, doing a market analysis. And during that job, I got to know the guys at the left. This is Ombudsman Energía México. They are a nonprofit. They taught me that sometimes doing what it matters, it's not because of the money. I helped them through get a newsletter, an electronic newsletter. I even got to be in the news as an expert of the energy sector. And then the government changed, and the energy sector was not good anymore. So I decided to do a bootcamp in data science, so medicine, industrial engineering, driver, data science. And I got hired as a data scientist, but I didn't have data to work with because everything was in Excel. And we wanted to do something on Google BigQuery. So I get to know two very talented data engineers that teach me how to build data warehouses and how to do data modeling. And then my life changed 180 degrees or 360 degrees, as someone says. I got married, I became a dad, and then, yeah, it was during COVID time, so the pictures has a little bit of time between them. And at the same time, the company I was working from closed. I was jobless with a little baby and looking for options. But I knew that I wanted to keep doing data engineering. So I looked online. I met another mentor of this talk who told me that he was building a team in the Netherlands. Well, he didn't tell me that it was in the Netherlands. He was building a team for a company that was working in Mexico. And after 2 months of interview, they told me, but you have to relocate to the Netherlands. And I was like, okay, we could have started with that, but okay. So yeah, basically I decided to make the jump, take the flight right here at the Netherlands. And after 10 months of being with that beautiful team, the company decided that Latin America was too risky because Russia invaded Ukraine. And I was, again, jobless in the Netherlands without friends, without contacts, without knowing anything about the European market, looking for an opportunity with 2 months in the clock to renew my visa. And at that moment in time, I get to know Bram Oxendorf and some of the people that are here in the room. And I said to them, like, I really like the job position, but if we are going to do this, we need to do it in a rush because my visa is ending in December. So they ran through me the 1 hiring in a day. So we were in a meeting room for 8 hours, trying to figure out if I was a fit for Go Data Driven in that moment in time. And I am happy to say that it has been terrific. I managed to write a book, met unbelievable people. I even managed to do a TED talk in the Flint. And my closing message is, don't feel enclosed by the role position. Keep curious, keep exploring what you like, and keep making the way as you walk. Thank you very much.